As the polarity between men and women is shifting, fewer and fewer men are finding the relationships they desire. In fact, a recent study shows that sexual activity is declining, and young men, specifically in the US, have fallen out of love with romantic relationships. Pew Research suggests that 63% of men under 30 describe themselves as single, compared to 34% of women in the same age bracket. But what is causing this astronomical breakdown in the social, romantic, and sexual life of the American male? Join us today as we look at what has been causing this massive dip in American relationships and why men cannot seem to find the girl of their dreams. We will look at how to transform yourself to attract a girl, what you need to do in order to make sure you become the desired type of partner, and how you can keep the girl of your dreams. It's easy to look at society and think that you need to find the right partner for your life. However, many men easily turn this into an obsession, which becomes overwhelming, and they neglect other parts of their lives. However, one of the most important parts of becoming the right man for your dream girl hinges on what you are doing with your life. In fact, you need to know where you are going with your life and what you are looking to accomplish once all is said and done. Not only does this make you more attractive, but it empowers you to bring the right type of girl into your life. In fact, it allows you to figure out which type of girl will be ideal to help you accomplish your goals and purpose. It is fundamentally wrong to assume that you need to become the stereotypical lone wolf if you are to attract a woman. Many men find themselves thinking they need to become a powerful loner in order to attract women. However, this is not the case. Men need to have social power. Nothing is more attractive to a woman than seeing that a man has friends that he can hang out with. However, this actually functions twofold. Not only does it give you a social group that will help you get out and have fun, but being surrounded by like-minded male friends will help you through the tough times. It is far better to ask for advice from your male friends rather than women who might react emotionally. Men should seek support from other men. Finally, being social means you have access to the outside world, and this keeps you away from online dating. By being more active out in the real world, you are far more likely to meet someone you like organically. The one thing that all men need to understand is that you need to become someone that she truly desires. The best way to explain this is to look at the different types of energies that men and women give off. Polarity of energy is vital, and you need to understand that around 80% of men have more of a masculine sexual essence, which means these men are mostly attracted to the feminine sexual essence. If you are one of these men who lean more toward the super masculine side of the spectrum, you need to continue to build upon this, which means understanding what your polar opposite would desire. Since many women tend to be more feminine, or in fact used to be, this means honing your masculinity to become more of her type. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should drink more beer, but working out could be a great way to increase your masculinity and look more the part of a dominant man. This will sort out the attraction part, and she will be more inclined to fall in love with you as her polar opposite. But once you have identified the woman you like, the next step is to create that movie-like attraction. Another frustration for many men is being ashamed of who they truly are. Yes, you might have a few sneaky habits you need to get rid of that could be downright disgusting, but every man has a few hidden secret desires that he often doesn't embrace. If you have watched the film 50 Shades of Grey, you can quickly see just how attractive being mysterious can be around women. However, once you bring her into your life and you make her part of some of these lustful yet purposefully directed mysteries, you can create a level of attraction that borders on obsession. You see, women love puzzles, and they are eager to figure out what makes a man tick. In fact, they are often willing to sacrifice parts of their own lives just to make sure that they can understand exactly what is driving the man to be who he is. By embracing your dark side and letting small parts of it shine through, you will create an enticing allure of mystery that women simply cannot get enough of. But you also need to understand the nature of the woman you desire. Now, as I've already alluded to, the opposite energy will create that natural, organic sense of attraction. But women can be complicated, and you must understand her desires. You see, many men believe that once they have ensnared the woman of their dreams, all their focus should shift primarily to her, and that he needs to cater to her every need by making her his #1 priority. However, this is not the case. Secretly, women don't want a man who would sacrifice his own purpose for the relationship. She wants to feel like she needs to be the one looking up to you in the fear of losing you, knowing you will be hard to replace. This will also keep her in that feminine energy, trying to ensure that you, the warrior, are cared for and ready to take on the world, as she, the nurturer, is biologically programmed to do. One of the biggest reasons for breakups in the United States is when men try to match the feminine energy of women. Since female nature is often far weaker and heavily depends on emotions, the male is naturally the one in the dominant mental sphere. Women tend to have bursts of emotions, and they can easily overreact to some of the most trivial of things. But a man should be able to reason with logic, understanding that emotion is temporary and that logic supersedes these emotional outbursts. Instead of indulging such emotional behavior, you should focus on maintaining your masculine frame and become the solution instead of adding to the problem. Once you dip into the female nature of emotions, you don't become a rock of protection. You simply add to the emotions, which naturally overwhelms her. Since she wants a solid rock to turn to, this can cause her to simply walk away. Now, once you grasp her emotional outbursts and you can control yourself to lead, the next step is to focus on this leadership role. With men castrating themselves in the modern era, it comes down to women who need to lead if the relationship is going somewhere. But if we look back, we can see that being emotional creatures makes it hard for them to take logical approaches and lead. Whether it is spiritually, emotionally, or financially, men need to step up and be the leaders. If she doesn't have an answer, she should feel confident that you could come up with the correct answer. If you truly want to keep the woman of your dreams, you need to be secure and confident in yourself that you can lead her through all the trials and tribulations that life will throw your way. Finally, it is easy after listening to this video to think that everything will now simply fall into place and you will live the happily ever after life. However, life is not that simple, and you are more likely to face challenges and periods of hardship than you are to always live in abundance. If the relationship does go through these periods of disdain, the way in which you react will dictate if you will be sticking together. Whether this is hardship through her moods or the frustrating cards that life tends to deal your way, you need to be able to retain your masculine frame and understand you can overcome this. Now, you might be wondering how you could overcome these hardships. Well, tying back to the first point, you must remain purposeful, which will help you accumulate the mental fortitude and resources that should build enough mental resiliency to make it through these tough times. Remember that these 8 points are not going to be a quick and easy fix, but they are things you can do throughout your life that will affect the way your woman perceives you and whether you have a functional long-term relationship. David Dida tells you in even more detail how these things can be accomplished in his book, Way of the Superior Man. We would recommend that you read this if you truly want a fulfilled life. Let us know in the comments if you have sustained a successful long-term relationship and what your secret has been.